Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm
Hi,
Jeni.
I'm Tressa.
Hey, Tressa.
Oh, hello.
We have a fun episode tonight.
I can't wait.
I know. I don't know if you can tell by the atmosphere that we are in. We are going to be discussing caves
What are we
tonight.
doing with caves?
We're discussing them.
All right, I gotta call you that. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's good. I really, really am fascinated with caves. So I traveled a lot with my grandparents when I was a kid. Like we went to a lot of places in the Midwest, historical significance and all that. So I've been to Mammoth Cave and I don't remember it. The one that I do remember is the Mark Twain Caves, which we went and camped at the campground there. And so I was kind of obsessed with them then. So I got the opportunity about 15 years ago. And I have to look at the pronunciation of this because I usually get it wrong. But it's the Octoon Tunichil Muknal in Belize. It's called the ATM Cave because hardly anybody can pronounce it correctly.
Yeah. All the whiteys.
All the whiteys. So this cave, you hike about a mile and a half into the jungle, and you cross three rivers to get there.
Nope, I'm out already.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. And I'm not talking about like skipping over rocks to cross a river. Like you're in the river, you're holding onto a rope, and then you hike another mile into this cave system.
With wet, soggy feet.
Well,
I'm out.
you got to swim into the opening of the cave, so you're pretty much in water most of the time.
Why would I do any of that? That sounds
Because
terrible.
it's beautiful. It's an archaeological site from the Mayan civilization. There's
very
like
cool.
2 skeletons in there that you can look at. All kinds of pottery and interesting things. And because it's an archaeological site, they can't do anything to the interior of the cave, right? They can't put up lights. They can't put up like safety ropes.
Oh, so it's like raw, and you're like, you're raw dog in this cave.
Yes. 1,000%. So I loved it so much when I went like 15 years ago. I did it again like last February, and it's delightful, but caves are spooky.
Yes,
They
that
are
is
spooky,
100%
spooky
true.
places. And, I just learned that you can have like sensory deprivation, like as an illness in some of these places, in some of these caves,
An illness.
because there's not much for you to focus on, and your brain is consistently looking for patterns. Like our brains always look for patterns, right?
Overcompensating. Trying to make sense of the senseless.
Yes, exactly. It's like when you buy a specific car and then all of a sudden you see the same car all over the place. You're looking for patterns. That's what your brain does. No, it's a thing. It's a whole thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go with you on that one.
So it's really easy for your brain to try to pick up patterns where there are none. So that's when you start to sort of see things, and restricting that can cause anxiety and even hallucinations in like less than 15 or around 15 minutes is like the shortest period of time that it can start to happen. It's wild.
I love caves, but I don't like any of that.
I know, but that doesn't happen all the time, and it doesn't happen to everybody.
Right. Sensory deprivation. And I feel like also it's not always, sensory deprivation is not always scary.
No,
Sometimes it's just
no.
fun as heck.
Yeah. I mean, people do it in like water pods?
Yep. In peed in water pods full of salt water. Those things
Are
like,
they always peed in?
how are they not always peed in? You
I
know
don't
somebody
know.
has peed in it every single time.
You are probably correct, and it might have been me, but
Knew it.
I know. Outside of that, but caves are cool, and you can imagine weird stuff going on in these caves. They're this whole different. They discover cave systems that have ecosystems that have been untouched.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely untouched.
Full on species that have no reason to have eyes, so we're just going to evolve with no eyes. Hello.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit terrifying and
Wait, real quick. Like, I don't have the experience of a full sensory deprivation cave tour, but when I was a kid, we used to go to South Dakota all the time during the summer. Every summer we would go to South Dakota. You know, you got Wall Drug, you got those presidents on that one place, and you know, all the stuff. But there's caves all the way through, as well as a mystery spot, which is super fun. But we would always, anytime we saw a cave, we're going to stop there. We're going to go through the tour for the cave. It's going to be cold. It's going to be great because it's hot right now. Every time, because caves are fascinating.
yes.
How do you not stop to see a cave? You see a billboard for a cave, you're stopping.
They're insane, and we have discovered so few of them. So they were so important to indigenous peoples' cultures, and there's stories about just about every national park has stories of a cave system and origin stories of entire tribes, you know, coming from caves, and so much of the folklore is centered around those. And so the idea that paranormal things and supernatural things sort of happen within cave walls or close to it is not really that great of a leap.
No. The idea that anything in this country wasn't already discovered and thoroughly investigated by First Peoples, Native Americans, yeah, duh, obviously.
Oh, yeah, but some of them they didn't even explore thoroughly. Like there are end points to where you can tell indigenous people stopped exploring the cave, probably because it got super dangerous
Yeah,
or
they were like,
really
"No,
far
thank
down
you."
there, and they were like, you know what? No, thank you. I don't want to go to the underworld. I'd rather not.
I can tell this is unstable. I'm
I've
good.
heard what lives down there, and I would like to leave now. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Like, I would love to, you know, go caving, but I think at a certain point I'd be like, all right, I know that how this story ends. It ends like The Descent. And I don't think so. Rather not. Thank you. Thank you and good night.
Let's just talk about The Descent because what?
I love that movie so much.
So good.
So good. Just
All right,
top notch.
Oh my God. Those guys. Gross. Anyway.
Yeah, they were super gross. But there's some other really, really gross things.
Like what, Jeni?
Here's a segue, if I ever heard one.
Masterpiece.
I know,
So
that's
good.
pretty good. All right, so down in the depths of Sao Paulo, Brazil, there is a cave known as the Minhoco cave system.
Okay.
And how did it get that name, you
I
ask?
don't know.
Oh, well, it's based around the Minhoco creature. So this creature, check this out, is, according to legend, there was a serpent that survived a great, rain, like monsoon deluge. To save itself, it entered a cave and rested in the darkness for centuries. And after it left the caves, it went through fields looking for bodies of animals to eat, but also sometimes attacked people and whatnot.
Who doesn't? It's
I know.
fine.
I know. So that's the basis of this cryptid, which is a giant earthworm that inhabits the Amazon rainforest, specifically in these caves. It can grow to 80 feet long.
Oh, that's pretty big worm.
It swims and
Wait,
breathes.
I got a question real quick.
What?
Is it just as... I'm not going to say that word.
All right.
Widthy as an earthworm? Is just like a little tiny 80-foot long earthworm?
No, it's not like a
Or-
string.
Is it like very
Yeah.
wide?
Listen, think Tremors.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, think Tremors. It's pretty much exactly the creature from Tremors. except for maybe a little bit smaller.
Was it also as terrifying as Tremors?
I believe
Creatures?
that it was. It was a giant earthworm that ate people.
Oh, you see, I didn't get that part of the eating people.
Yeah.
So, okay, go ahead.
It ate like everything.
Everything!
It wasn't.
What? That's a lot of things.
I know. It's so many things. It's so many things. But listen, this thing was given credit for causing all sorts of natural disasters, right? So it very much was like the worm from Tremors, because it caused
Can we
earthquakes.
just talk about Tremors for the rest of
Well, that's just going to make us talk about Kevin Bacon for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
What a
let's do
delight.
it. Such a great man.
Such a great man. So it would cause natural disasters. So any sort of earthquake, any sort of like massive rainstorm that would cause
That
mudslides
earthworm,
yep.
he crazy.
It was that guy doing it. Yeah.
You gotta blame
Yeah.
somebody, right?
And why not a giant earthworm?
That you are pretty sure exists, but we don't know for sure.
Listen, the Amazon is insane. They just discovered not too terribly long ago that there's 2 kinds of anaconda. Yeah, and the second kind that they discovered is even bigger than the first kind.
Yeah, how long did they say it was? Like 40 feet or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Well,
So an 80-foot earthworm, maybe not out of the realm of possibility. I'm just saying.
I like the idea of just like a little tiny earthworm being really long.
I don't think it would last that long.
No, it would be cut into pieces all the time.
There'd be
just
so
thrive.
many.
Yeah.
There'd be so many of them. So the next really, really creepy creature I'm sure that people have heard of comes to us from the Grand Canyon caverns, which, again, any sort of thing happening within the Southwest, I'm fascinated by, because I absolutely buy in. Automatic buy-in from me.
100%. Yes. Give me more.
Yeah. So it's called the rake, which I'm sure you've heard of before,
Yes,
because
I
they are
have. Thank you for
terrifying.
asking. Yes.
Now, those resemble the creatures from The Descent.
Yes.
Yes, they do. All I'm going to do is reference movies.
No, that's great because we all know movies. That's fine. And also, the Descent guys were gross and very much rake-like. And I
Yes.
hadn't even thought about that till you said that.
Yes. It's immediately the connection that I made when I was reading the description of the pale white skin, completely hairless, sharp teeth, sharp claws, and pointed ears.
There you go.
Come on.
Enjoy.
Most of the time it crawls on all 4 limbs, but can stand if necessary. It's a very violent cryptid. We have a lot of very calm cryptids, but we have a fair amount of violent
living
ones
their
too.
lives.
Yeah.
And this one, tell me about how it's violent. Do you got stories about their violence?
I don't have any stories, but that's
Why would you bring it up then?
Well, I don't know. I'm telling you about the cryptids, man.
That's fine.
But there are accounts going back to the 1600s, so I can't tell you
Of the
any
rake?
of them.
I didn't realize the stories
Yeah.
went back that long.
Yeah. Again, it's
wild.
one of those that originated with indigenous peoples, First Nation folklore.
And all the, not gold diggers, that's the word. All the 49ers are like, hey, what's going on around here? And the Native Americans like, there's rakes over there. Don't go over there.
Yeah,
and they're like,
don't-
tell me more.
do
Never
that.
mind. I'm going to go check it out myself. And then they're dead.
Exactly. That's why I don't have any stories. Nobody lived.
That's
There were
fair.
no survivors.
It happens.
Yeah. But they did hunt, and most of the time, I think they were nocturnal, right? Am I right in this one?
Yeah, I think so. I've
For the
never
most
heard
part?
of, breakfast rakes, but
Is that anything like breakfast crepes? Because those are delicious.
these are not.
Oh, that's a shame. All right. Now, I have another one for you, and this is not like necessarily a cryptid, as we really sort of think about them, something that naturally evolved.
Wait.
Yeah.
Real quick. Since you were talking about Brazil a second and
Yeah.
the weird earthworm, let's talk just a second about the Peruvian alien mummies that were found recently, and the guy.
Yes.
Yes,
Tell me the
the
story.
guy I mean, you know the story. Everyone knows the story. The guy found these alien mummies in a cave, and it's like, I'm gonna sell these off to the biggest bidder, and I'm gonna get rich and also go to jail because I shouldn't be doing this.
Valid.
And then there were all these like, oh, these are so fake. Look at this one. But the thing is, everyone was like, this one mummy is so fake. Look at all these things that we discovered. It's actually cake. Everybody have some cake. But also, he like
Disclaimer: it wasn't actually cake.
not delicious. He had discovered like a dozen of them. Like there were a dozen of these little mummies with elongated heads, 3 fingers, 3 elongated fingers. I don't know anything about anything, but it seems like it wasn't so much of a hoax as someone being like, what an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Peruvian mummies. Aliens.
I do. And some of the things you can't really write off. Like I would be able to write off the elongated shaped skulls. That was something that was prevalent in Aztec culture.
Right. There was like a skull binding, much like feet binding in China. Like there's a way to manipulate that.
Right. But the 3 fingers and the elongated.
Fingers.
I think it's the elongated because you could just kind of get rid of some of those fingers.
Yeah, chop. Good. But the fact that they're longer is weird.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
All right, so continue.
All right. So our next little weird thing to come out of caves is, and it's strange because it covers 3 states, right? So Ohio and Michigan, which you can kind of understand because close proximity.
You know what? I don't want to hear about that.
Oh, yeah.
Not right now because we're going to take a break.
Oh, man.
The Oregon Bigfoot Festival and Beyond is back and bigger than ever at Oaks Amusement Park, Saturday, June 29th. Meet Bigfoot hunters like Ronnie LeBlanc of Discovery Channel's Expedition Bigfoot and Paranormal Caught on Camera, and paranormal investigators like me, Dave Schrader of the Holzer Files and the Paranormal 60 podcast. Join us for a day of family fun celebrating Bigfoot, ghosts, UFOs, and everything beyond. You never know what you'll find. Don't miss the Oregon Bigfoot Festival and Beyond, Saturday, June 29th at Oaks Amusement Park. Get tickets today at OregonBigfootFest.com. OregonBigfootFest.com.
The Oregon Bigfoot Festival. Oregon Bigfoot Festival.
You know who else you can see at the Oregon?
Who?
A little bit of you, a little bit of me. Actually, all of us. We're going to be there.
All of us.
Not
all
officially.
Of the Monsters Lounge. No, we won't be speaking or signing anything unless you see us, and then we'll be like, yeah, well.
I mean, we'll sign things. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I love putting my signature on things.
Yeah, we'll sign a copy of Dave's book if you'd like.
Listen,
As Dave.
We will do it whether you like it or not. You're welcome.
It's pretty much a guarantee.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But if you see us, come talk to us.
Please.
And we won't sign your book.
We might, whether you like it or not.
So I was telling you about this very strange legend that happens in Ohio and Michigan, which is understandable. They're pretty close.
Yes.
Right? But also they pop up in Connecticut,
Yep.
which doesn't really...
No, that's distance
It doesn't border
between...
anything.
No,
Yeah, it's like
you got
different
Pennsylvania,
reason.
which is like a good day's drive. Trust me, it's a day. It's too long. Why is Pennsylvania so long?
We should really flip that state just on its
Just
on
like
its
cut
side.
it or something. Like cut it with something with
With another
more-
state.
Yeah, something with more gas stations. Because once you drive through, it's like, will I ever be able to get gas?
But it's really pretty, so you'd end up,
Gorgeous.
yeah. And then perhaps being cast in a Shyamalan movie.
And you can enjoy that gorgeous view when your car stops because there's no gas. Because there are no gas stations in Pennsylvania. What's going on? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that was a weird side rant. But yet another opportunity for me to mention a movie. So perfect.
And it's all for you.
Yeah.
It's all for you, Jeni.
You wind up in the village. So, these creatures are called melonheads. Now, the story is quite sad. In all three instances, they are children who are either abandoned children, orphan children, and adopted or kidnapped by nefarious doctors who do all sorts of genetic experiments on them and have sort of mutated them into very large head small people.
Okay.
And they can also be quite vicious, sharp teeth.
Listen, I'd be vicious too.
I'd be mad.
Super mad.
Real mad.
Big
So
mad.
in all three states, the stories involve them escaping and then going to a cave system to live and build their own community, really, and occasionally hunt.
Oh,
Yeah,
they found their people. It's fine.
did.
It's nice.
they found their little group
Community.
colony. Yeah, that's nice. It's very nice.
So nice.
So we have a system that is also very close to us, and it was mentioned prior.
Wait. I'm pretty sure there's more going on with the melonheads.
Pretty sure there's more going on with the melon heads. All right. Yeah, you're right. I could describe them more.
I mean, didn't they have something to do with the Mark Twain caves?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that part. So the Mark Twain caves have a lot of lore too, based around terrible people doing terrible things.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. So, crazy doctor again started, well, essentially robbing graves and doing experiments.
You keep wanting to say
I know,
experiences.
experiences.
Listen, this isn't Groupon. We're not going to go and have a fun time downtown. Let's, rein it in, Jeni.
Experiments. He did experiments and created his own particular brand of monsters. So, yeah.
Him.
So the caves are still haunted
Oh, by who?
by him and the
Oh,
people
no.
who came looking for the
Also,
bodies.
His daughter.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that part.
I don't remember.
Okay.
You know, I sent you the article thinking that you would be the one to read it, but that's fine. We'll just keep. Tell me about the Mammoth Caves.
I'm going to tell you about the Mammoth Caves. So the Mammoth Caves are the longest cave system in the world, right?
How long?
How long
How
are
long
they?
are they? Yes.
426 miles of cave have been explored and found, right? So there's 426 miles that are
I read a
accounted for.
report that it could be almost as much as 600 miles of undiscovered cave
Correct.
junk.
Correct.
Thank you.
That is what the majority of geologists who study that particular cave system have determined, that it could be up to 600 because
wild.
it involves many different cave systems. There were two large ones that were discovered to be connected by one or two tunnels. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. And when we say that they've been explored, like there's not that much I think it's something like 20 miles that's open to the public. So everything else is open to people who are supposed to be there, licensed, geologists, Park Service people.
Like professionals, not some
Yeah.
dummy that's just like, I want to look at some stalagmites and some stalactites.
Yeah. Yeah. The number of missing people and disappeared people is extraordinarily underreported. And I really couldn't find any substantial number on that, or like any set number on how many deaths they credit the cave system to, because nobody finds anything.
Right. It's just a missing persons account. And once you get caves involved that are unexplored, well, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to explore every inch of that cave? No, you're not going to do that.
And even the explored and mapped areas, they're not exploring every little bit. They just know that this tunnel exists, and it connects this cavern and this cavern, or what have you. Yeah, no lights. It's insanely dark. Sound gets very strange in caves too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nonsense and stupid. Like, that, what? I love a cave.
Yeah.
Don't make me go into an unexplored cave. I don't know what's above or below or to the side or deeper in. Ooh.
Nope. So thus far, they know of 25 entrances that span over 82 square miles.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So they know for a fact that the cave had been occupied, or at least humans had been in the cave, starting about 4,000 years ago.
Right.
So-
And they were actually mining a lot of the cave at that time too, right?
At that point, they were kind of using it more so for safety, for spiritual practices, things along those lines is what they're thinking. About 2,000 years ago, most of those people moved on. They were kind of abandoned at that point, and they're pretty sure it has to do with the way that animals sort of that they relied on for hunting, all of that stuff, they sort of migrated away, or like the ecology sort of changed, right? So there wasn't as much food as close to the caves. But the Cherokee who had it after that did use the caves for mining. They used the top little bit for mining gypsum and selenite.
Can I ask you a stupid question?
Yeah.
What's gypsum?
I think gypsum is something that is used. It's like a softer mineral that's used in something, which is just sounds
Okay, you don't know
ridiculous.
either. Okay, that's fine. That's
No,
fine.
no, but I'm pretty sure it's an element in other things. That also sounds incredibly dumb, but
No, succinct. Thank you.
it's a thing that they use to make other things.
Oh, like atoms.
Yeah, yes.
Cool. Neat.
I
Thank
am
you.
a geologist professor. I
Yes.
teach at all
Thank
the finest
you for
universities,
teaching me.
at all the finest gas stations in the world.
Oh, you're not in Pennsylvania then.
Nope, because there's only two. Yeah, so it's intensely large. It's very, very old. And one of the cool things is that there are new caves and new tunnels sort of being created like as we speak,
Being
because
created or discovered?
well, both, because it's still embedded in limestone. So erosion is still happening.
Water and whatnot.
Yeah.
Thank you, H2O.
So, amongst that, one of the cool new things that has happened at Mammoth Cave recently, as far as scientific discoveries and as far as exploration, is that there are 2 new species of shark.
What?
Which means I have 2 more things to love.
About Mammoth Cave.
No, about sharks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they're extinct and they just found their fossils. But yeah,
But
that's
I
exciting.
love them regardless. It's very
Yeah.
exciting.
I mean,
So,
also, what was it? 70 species of ancient fish have been identified in the Mammoth Caves. So it's not just those 2,
yeah.
but a ton more. They just keep finding more because, and I'm not going to even try and pronounce the new 2 sharks they found because they're stupid names. But just go with a hammerhead. Why do you got to get all Latin? Like, come on.
Listen,
But, yes.
Listen, this is very important because I just noticed that in our chat, our very good friend has come up with the reason, and I was exactly correct. Let me tell you, because gypsum is a soft mineral. It's widely mixed. It's widely mined and is used as a fertilizer. And
Who was our friend? You didn't say who it was.
It is Raphael.
Oh, thanks, Ruffy. He would
And
know.
as the main ingredient in plaster, drywall, and blackboards. So it is a thing that goes in other things. Boom.
Boy, is my face red.
Killed it.
You really got it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Nailed it. See, everybody's backing me up on this. Look at you, Professor.
You're like the smartest lady in this podcast. And I would
Yeah.
never, ever say otherwise. I don't read.
So anyway, Mammoth Cave is crazy, and there's a lot of paranormal things that happen in and around that cave system.
You know what? I feel like we should talk about what's going on in and around the Mammoth Caves right after this brief message.
The Oregon Bigfoot.
No, this...
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night? Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic? Have you or your family ever seen a spook, spectre, or ghost? Then Haunted Magazine issue 41 might just be for you. In issue 41 we have The Enfield Haunting, an interview with Dave Schrader, Danny Robbins, and lots more. Out now in stores, app stores, and online at bit.ly/Haunted Magazine. Remember, don't be normal, be paranormal.
We also do have an update on that doctor. We have a pretty good story here in the chat from John.
Thank you, John Hammond. Mm-hmm. From Undetermined Podcast.
Yeah, Dr. Joseph Nash McDowell. Oh. He kept her in a copper tube. This is his daughter.
Yeah.
Copper tube full of chemicals to preserve her body. Local kids would sneak in at night and scare each other by pulling her head up by the hair and showing it to girls. Boy, nothing impresses me more
Then half alive.
than kids showing me gross, scary, terrifying thing.
Experiment that should not exist.
Should not exist. But that is pretty good information, so thank you very much,
Yes,
John.
thank you, John.
Yeah. Say,
Yeah.
Do you have any stories that you'd like to share?
I do. I got a real quick one, real quick, about Mammoth Caves. The following is from Reddit because I wanted to see who on the real tip has some Mammoth Cave stories. I didn't get usernames, sorry. I usually like to record a minute or two of audio using my iPhone when I go to national parks. I decided I wanted to go over a fear of hiking at night when I was unable to sleep and recorded a snippet right outside the cave entrance around midnight. I decided to listen to it a few days later and noticed a faint voice that said, "Go in further," towards the end of the recording. No, thank you. That's the whole story. No, thank you.
Listen, I applaud this poster's method of curing themselves of fear.
Yes, however, I
By
feel like
doing
it may
that
have done
thing.
the opposite.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out.
No. No, I think it may have made it worse.
Yeah, probably.
For me, anyway.
Yeah. Or maybe just added a new fear, like of caves.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Or
I
5.
didn't think that there was a weird whisper that was going to come at me from a bodiless voice. Yeah, no, that's fine. Maybe there is a body. Who knows? I'm not going in that cave now.
Yeah. Listen, and I don't often wander around with a tape recorder. But
But you
perhaps
have a
I should.
phone.
I don't know.
A phone will record things.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to start recording things then, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's going to be next week's podcast. Just Jenny's rambling
no.
recordings.
It's just going to be nothing.
Yeah, that's
I don't want
accurate.
to. You know what? Maybe you could edit that before. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it'll just be a whole show of nothing.
Oh, that sounds great. Let's do. Anyway, you got a
Listen,
story
now,
for us?
I do. Also from Reddit.
Ah.
Last night, my family and I, who frequently ghost hunt, took some other family members who have never ghost hunted before. We went to Joppa Church in Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. We usually catch some potential evidence via photographs and sometimes get hits on the EMF reader, even though there's no electricity. Last night, while outside, we saw a face that kept distorting and had its own light source. It was moving almost as if it was trying to manifest itself, but couldn't quite get there. We never saw the full face. The best way to describe it is the mask from Phantom of the Opera. All light sources inside and outside were off, except for one red headlamp that we had shut off while watching this thing. And it definitely was not that. It continued just as it had after we shut off all light sources. 5 of us saw this thing, 2 out of the 5 being their first time ghost hunting, and they were pretty freaked out. The creepiest part is that we were in the middle of seeing this, had all the lights shut off, and my sister started videotaping. You can hear us in the video describing what we're seeing, but it did not capture anything. It's driving me nuts and I can't get it out of my mind. Does anybody have any videos or seen any videos like this? I just want to see what I saw again so I can try to make some sense of it. 3 of us have been ghost hunting for approximately 15 years, and never in these years had we seen anything like this.
I mean,
It was wild.
I can't even. I don't know who.
First of all, I don't know the first thing about ghost hunting,
No, same.
so anything would
Right, but
would
I know the
absolutely
basics.
scare me.
Like
Like
this-
the basics of what should and shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I've seen shows, but I don't know what a Phantom of the Opera mask glowing. That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't
Really?
sound like a ghost. It sounds like something completely different that I don't know what it is.
You don't. Yeah, I don't know what it would be though.
I'm not saying it's not a ghost. I'm just saying I don't know what it is.
No, I think you're trying to say that you know exactly what it is. Oh man, so you don't. Maybe it was a Phantom of the Cave. Boom. I got jokes.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
No. Pretty great, though.
Isn't there a cave that has like a huge like stalactite formation that they call like the organ of the cave or something similar?
I think most
Yeah.
caves
I mean,
have
why
those.
wouldn't they? Why
There
wouldn't
was
they?
one in the ATM cave that they call like the cathedral room because the
Right.
is it stalactites that come down or stalagmites?
Yes, they hold on tight to the ceiling.
Okay, yeah, because there's big like curtain.
Stalagmites might grow.
There's curtain stalactites that come down that are just stunning and beautiful, but they have
course.
these really cool ripples.
So we can agree that they all have cathedrals.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, definitely a Phantom of the Cave.
Yeah,
We
agreed.
solved it.
Problem solved.
Jeni, did you know there were a ton of Bigfoot sightings around Mammoth Cave?
You know what? Strangely enough, I did realize that.
Oh, that's weird.
I know, it's so odd.
Huh, it's not something you would usually
I never know
research.
anything about.
I don't.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me tell you about one.
Yes, please.
Brent, last name on file, with his daughter in August 16th, 2015. His daughter, I'm just going to read it. My daughter and I embarked on a camping adventure filled with hiking, fishing, and mountain biking before her return to school. As habitual campers, we settled into our pop-up camper in a campground where we were the sole occupants for the evening. Despite previous peaceful nights spent in the same location, this particular evening proved to be anything but tranquil. Amidst the stillness of the night, we were abruptly aroused. We were Hold on. Nope, not that time either. We were abruptly roused by an array of unfamiliar noises emanating from the surrounding wilderness. In response, I cautiously unzipped the window of our camper and conducted a thermal scan of the area. That's okay. Yet nothing appeared out of the ordinary. Nevertheless, the unsettling sounds persisted, prompting me to step outside with heightened vigilance. Despite my efforts, the source of the disturbances remained elusive, leading to moments of heightened tension as I found myself reaching for my weapon in response to mysterious impacts on the camper and scratching at the door. What? Nope. That's when you get in the truck and leave.
One would think, yeah, but I feel like he might have been prepared for a lot
Was
more
he?
than camping. He had a thermal image reader. Like,
Yeah, what is that about? Who has that?
who's walking around camping with that?
Just camping? Why do you have a thermal image reader? What were you expecting, sir?
Just seems wrong.
Were you expecting a predator? Like the alien predator?
I feel like maybe yes.
I feel like, certainly yes. What?
No. That
Oh.
one's no. Just no. And also weapons, I don't
mean,
I don't
he
like
had
I don't like whatever this guy was up to.
With his daughter, having weapons, camping before school? Sir.
Yeah.
Take a parenting education class. That's what I'm saying. They'll tell you to keep the weapons at home.
Yeah, it's harsh, but okay.
Hey,
No,
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
calls it as I sees it. You know, like that. I get it. I get
Thank
it. Actually,
Do you
I
wanna
don't
hear
get it.
about
and I
the-
don't-
You do.
children.
Do you
I
want to
have
hear
no
about the Girl Scout incident?
idea. Probably, unless it involves weapons and thermal readers.
No, it's a fun little Girl Scout troop
Okay, sweet.
outing. Happened in 2013, July to be exact. Mm-hmm. 18 total witnesses, including the KBRO, the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization.
That's a fair amount of witnesses, right? Am I
That's a
right?
ton of
That's a ton.
witnesses.
right.
Can you even imagine that many witnesses?
No.
They were asked by troops 1554 and 2664 from Delaware, Ohio, to guide them on a Bigfoot hunt while visiting Kentucky. Are you ready? Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
Around 10 p.m., we embarked with a group of giddy girls and skeptical mothers into the darkness, our expectations modest. I mean, it's so many people. Why would you expect to see or hear anything? It's fine. Guided by a few red headlamps, we hiked along the boardwalk, letting the girls make tree knocks and howls, sparking an unexpected curiosity from potential Bigfoot. Astonishingly, our tactic succeeded, eliciting a response of tree knocks and a whistle from across the pond. However, our excitement turned to fear as something large jumped on the boardwalk behind us, prompting screams and a hasty retreat to safety. Despite our nerves, we discussed the encounter, including that behavior didn't match known animal patterns, leaving us convinced of a curious Bigfoot's presence. We went back early the next morning, but did not find a downed tree, large log, rock, or even footprints. I jumped on the boardwalk with my boots to try to replicate the enormous thud, and I didn't even do the sound justice. I weighed 250 pounds, and what we heard had to be easily multiple times my weight. The troop leaders told me they couldn't stop talking about it all the way back home to Ohio. It was definitely the highlight of their trip. How could it not be?
Okay. All right. Hang on.
Okay. Listen.
Hold on. I like that they're very pleased about this. I like that they're very excited about this. That's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
So at Indiana Dunes National Park, they have boardwalks
Yep.
that go kind of through trails and up around, obviously, like the dunes. You know, it's just not great walking area. During the evening, during the nighttime, where sun's starting to go down and it's not even total blackness yet, they are scary. They are very intimidating. You can't see very far at all. You know, everything becomes like crystal clear. The noises just become crystal clear. If I had heard something slam behind me onto one of those boardwalks, I would have probably peed myself and then ran.
Oh,
Or collapsed. Like, how is this just it was this fun little thing. We're assuming it's Bigfoot. I'm not assuming it's Bigfoot. I'm
because
assuming
they're so
it's a
all
murderer.
alive. No, listen, this is a chat they had after they had survived the night. So yeah, what a fun little trip we had. We almost died. That was crazy. You weren't a Girl Scout, were you?
I was a Girl Scout. Of course I was a Girl Scout. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know. Did
I don't
you
know
not
why
go on
you
Girl
would-
Scout trips? Like what?
I did, but we went to like dude ranches.
You never got lost in a forest for like 5 hours while your leaders told you that it's fine and they would find their way back, and it was obvious that that was not the case because you've been walking for 5 hours and it was supposed to be a 1 hour hike? You've never gone through that?
No, actually, no, I haven't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not. Okay. Were you reliving something?
I don't know. I
everything
need to
all right?
write something down. I have to talk to my therapist about some things.
Maybe get that story together and we can read it next week.
I didn't mean to kill that bee. I mean, I did, but I just wanted to see what every other bee would do.
That's a pretty good Bigfoot sighting.
Oh, Jesus
Right.
Christ.
I think we have time for one more story. Now, do we want to hear the story of the panther or do we want to hear the story of the Bigfoot?
Let's mix it up. Let's do the panther. Give me the panther.
All right, I'm going to tell you the panther story. I'm glad that you said that because I really like this story.
Me too.
Like a lot. Okay, so this story is I'm going to read it as if I'm this individual.
Please do.
Yeah, just in case anyone noticed a change from what we've been doing. It's not. That's exactly what we've been doing. When I was around 9 or 10, my uncle told me a wild story that happened close to Mammoth Cave. Growing up in Kentucky, I'd heard legends, but this one stood out. This is from the early 1990s. From the early 1990s, and he heard it about 5 years later. So his uncle, his closest neighbor, who I'll call Ken, lived about half a mile down the dirt road that ran along their properties. They became good friends and would go hunting together. My uncle lived in Louisville and would visit his property when he had off days or needed to do some sort of upkeep. So unlike his neighbor, he spent more than most of the year in Louisville. On this particular weekend, the neighbor Ken went out hunting for deer alone. He left his cabin and headed off into the woods as he had done 100 times before. He followed a path that he had used a lot to a small group of trees overlooking a very large meadow. It was a perfect sunny fall day, good for hunting, apparently. He sat in the shadows under some low-hanging tree branches, feeling pretty hidden. Oddly, he didn't see very much in terms of game. Just a few fawn and a doe, but not the big trophy buck he was hoping for. He was thinking of just grabbing his gear and heading back to the cabin, but decided to stick around a little while longer. He eventually started to see movement in the tree line opposite of him. He pulled off his rifle to his shoulder and looked down the scope, which obviously magnifies things quite a little bit. The trees stopped him from getting a good view, but from what he could tell, there was movement heading towards the edge of the woods at the clearing closest to him. When it stepped out about 50 yards away and into the clearing, he knew that he was not looking at a deer. He described its body like a panther, but the upper torso, where the shoulders and neck sat noticeably higher than its lower back and hind legs. He was looking at its side profile when it walked, had to be close to 7 feet long. He said it was quiet like a cat. It never made a noise. The front legs looked more like arms, longer and skinnier than its hind legs. It had brittle dark brown hair, which I don't know how you tell that it's brittle from that far away.
Yeah, like, come on. Don't be rude.
Maybe coarse? I don't know. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Don't judge.
Maybe he just doesn't have a good conditioner. It's fine.
How would you have a good conditioner out there?
You're way out there.
Come on.
He claimed that the creature's skin looked waxy, almost like a chimpanzee's skin, dark brown and
much
almost black.
judgment.
There's a lot of judgment coming out of this
Come
guy.
on. He doesn't meet your beauty standards. He doesn't care. He
Well,
lives
just
in the
wait.
middle
Now
of
he's going to
nowhere.
talk about the face. Its
Please.
face was long like a dog's,
Come on.
but no ears. I know.
Jesus.
He said that the corners of its mouth ended by the neck, where the ears should be.
Ugh.
So essentially, the mouth just wrapped around the
Ugh.
entire head.
Nope.
Not
All right,
okay.
I'm on board with the judgments now.
The most unsettling detail was the thing's back legs. He described them as looking frog-like. The back legs were tucked up close to the creature's sides.
And
When
delicious.
it walked, the leading leg would reach almost to the front half of its body, and the other leg would stretch way back, flat like a frog when it crawls. He watched it for about 2 or 3 minutes, and slowly it disappeared back into the tree line. He dubbed it the Kentucky Holler Crawler.
That's appropriate.
Eventually,
At least it wasn't like brittle hair, waxy face. Get out of here, jerk.
that just would have been demeaning. Eventually, Ken told my uncle. Ever since then, Ken refused to go into the woods. He only hunted from the dirt road running through the property afterward.
Why? Are you afraid of a brittle-haired, waxy-faced frog leg guy? What's your problem?
Yeah, I'm curious as to how it also looked like a cat, because that does not sound like a panther. Has he seen a panther? Panther?
There is nothing
seen
cat-like about that description.
No.
What are you talking about, bro?
No.
I feel like you're just putting words in a sentence and they don't
It
make
sounds
any
like
sense.
you just saw a really large frog. I mean, the mouth, right? Like
With
no
brittle hair.
Yeah,
Yes,
no-
exactly.
no visible ears, the large mouth, the frog legs, the skinny legs. Frogs have skinny, well, shorter legs up front, but yeah, it's weird.
You know what?
I,
Everything about the description of that thing, hate it. Regardless if it's accurate or not, hate it. Gross, dude. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I want to know how he describes his wife is what I want to know next. What do you...
there was no mention of a wife.
You know he's got one. And he hates her. You know it. And it's going to be the same exact description. Get out of here, bro. No, thank you. I'm done with you.
I know. You now listen, Judgy McJudgy Pants. I understand you don't like the description, but that's no reason to bring this poor man's wife into this. He's already been
I didn't
terrified.
do it. He did. He did it, not me.
No, I don't think that's accurate.
It's fine. It's fine. Jeni,
Yes, Tressa.
you've been a delight to have on the show.
You've
Thank
been a
you
delight
so
to
much
have on
for
the
coming
show.
on. I'll have to have you on again sometime.
Maybe in like 6 months.
Or
Longer?
Hey, you know what? Maybe next week. Maybe you
Oh,
can.
that seems good. Let me clear some things off my schedule.
Okay, anyway. Hey, everyone else, don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the Paranormal 60 Network. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out our merch on our website, monstersloungepodcast.com. Send us an email or comment. We love hearing from people. So until next time, thanks for visiting the Monsters Lounge. Bye.
Bye.